Hello, guys. Welcome to our chess stream. Welcome back to our lichess.org chess game. I'll be playing today a different defense. I'll be playing against. I mean, so here I will show you one of the tough defense. Solid defense, as I can say. It's called the French. So this French is was popularized by Mikhail Botvinnik of the Russia. So the French defense is quite solid if you know all the lines. Then this is hard to break. And let's go for the game. So here I played e4 as usual. This is my opening. I mean, when I'm playing blitz. So my enemy here choose the e6. This is what they call the French defense. So that's the name of defense. So I go for d4, the standard normal variation of the French defense. Then my enemy choose the d5. So this is the standard reply to d4, d5. So here, the common reply is knight c3, just normal development. So my enemy choose the knight f6, the Paulson variation, and then he choose the knight f6, which goes to the classical variation of the French defense. This is asking about what I'm gonna do with the e4 square. So the e4 square is threatened by the knight. So I need to move my pawn somewhere or maybe exchange the pawn in the middle. But here I push the pawn. This is the classical variation, Steinet's variation of the French defense. So as you can see, there's a lot of game here listed in the database. So there's a lot of highly rated, grandmaster, as you can see. Then so let's go to the next move for black. So here, the black knight is, I mean, obligated to transfer the knight on d7. So that's correct. Then my next move here is this. There's also a good knight. This one, but I didn't choose that one. And this still part of the Steinitz variation. But I choose the f4, just strengthening the center pawn. So here he played f5, not f5 but c5. And here is trying to break the center or trying to weaken my center. So I have to reinforce my center with my pieces. So I played knight f3. Then here it takes the pawn on d4. I don't no, sorry. He played here knight c6, so that's what he played here. And I played here bishop e3, standard. Then he played here bishop b6, not bishop b6 but queen b6. Then so we are now in the territory of the French defense, Steinetz variation, Bolebsky variation. So the French defense is quite rich. There's a lot of variation of French defense. Then I played here the knight a4, which is one of the engine moves. Knight a4, and he goes for check on knight a5. Then I go for c3. Yeah, I go for c3. Then he go for uh, the suggestion here by the engine is b6, but he go for the c text d4. I take that. Actually, it was a mistake. The engines tell me it was a mistake. Oh, there's a in between moves of b4. Engine said, engine suggested about that, but here I played the exchange, and he just took the knight, and I took that with the bishop, in which led us to our new game here. So we'll close the database engine. So we'll go now to our next, human game. We don't have any history of highly rated for the French defense. Steinitz Bolelebsky variation. So here he played b6, and this is a blunder already. As you can see, the engine shift from negative 1.6 going to 5.7 advantage. So that's almost a rook. as you can see, I can play here before. So the engine suggested that he should took the pawn on the b4, which is he did, and he took it, right. Then here I play with my bishop here. I should play with the knight, right. I should put my knight here, but it's okay. It's okay. Uh-huh. You can check here. He didn't check that on knight. He didn't check on the e4, queen e4, but instead he took the pawn here, in which I think it gives me an opportunity here because I was able to develop my piece. Now, I think I'm not really sure because I think this is quite very still unpredictable, but the advantage is 1.1, not that much. Here, he just castled, normal castle. Here, yeah, I think I put my king here. Not king, but the rook on f1. So the evaluation of the engine is equal. It's points 0.2. It's just normal. And 2.1, 2.6, 2.5 after the check. Then I offered a queen to queen because I think I'm ahead already. Right. I'm ahead a piece because he have sacrificed a piece for a pawn earlier. So that's the bad side of sacrificing something that it's very unclear. For this example, this already an advantage here because I can put my bishop on the dark square, threatening the rook on f8. So he need to move. Then first he go for my bishop first. Then I can place my bishop on the c6. They can move. He can move the rook on a2. Then I can take the rook on f8 with my bishop. Then knight takes f8. Then now I'm ahead of a rook. Then here I took the pawn on b6 and he go for bishop b7. So basically this is uh, just he wants to trade the bad bishop with my good bishop. So I didn't go for that trade. Instead I want to develop my rook. So I place my rook on c1. Then he's threatening here with with the rook with a queen. He's threatening my rook at c1. So what I did, I just moved my king on f2, and I think that's it. After some several exchanges, I got my king on g1. This is quite funny, guys, because my king from e1, f2, and g1 makes a funny king movement. Then he go for a check here. Then I go for, I think, queen to queen. He didn't go for that, but instead he took my pawn here. And this is, I think, all totally over because he missed this one. I have a check here. Then after that, he just moved. I can take the knight here, and it's checkmate. So I think he was too very ambitious of the attack, and he cannot recover from the attack. So that what happened there. So let's review what really is the turning point of events on why the black French defense collapsed. All right, so let's go for a quick check. Everything is standard. Open books. Everything is okay. There's still bookish, book move. I think there's still a book move. This one is, I can say this is still a book move or some variation of the book. Here also, yeah. Yeah. And here, let's just close this one. And I think this is now where, and this one, this b6 actually is pretty bad move because this is just giving a whole rook, right? Because as you can see, this queen is trapped, right? The queen is trapped on the a5, so he cannot move. That's why this is a bad move because the queen movement or mobility on this diagonal has blocked by this b pawn, the b6 pawn. So that's why that's a bad move. So here in the end, it suggested that he can push a pawn here. So actually, the engine suggested here that I should put here, in which I don't think so. It's a good move because here you can take with this. Ah, I see. You can put here, and he still can defend. I can take this. Yeah, I think this should be okay. Most probably, black has the advantage here. So I think the bad move here is the b6 square. He missed that one. So after this one, everything was collapsed. You need to trade. You need to sacrifice a bishop there. Then I took that whole piece with the pawn. That you go for I think 5.5. I go for 5.5 advantage. That's quite a lot. And after that, I think I made a lot of mistakes here, even though I'm up a piece already because he can go check here. And the suggestion is this one, right? And you can have a lot of attacks here. All right, you can push a pawn. Then I think this is quite very very aggressive. You can take this, you can take that, you can take with this. Yeah, I think this is still a pretty solid French defense if he is able to, I mean, know the line of the French defense. So that's that's one variation of the French defense there. So here just totally over after several exchanges there, and threatening the rook there, exchange the rook there, and after that made some exchange further and check and go back to that square and check. And I was trying to go for the queen to queen, but he didn't want to. He just took the pawn, and this is totally over. Yeah, and I think that's it, guys. And yep, and I think that's the game, guys. And let me know if you have any question of the French defense. If you want to play with me, just put your comment down below. Like, we can play together. Just add me on my Lichess account. My account is Darch Hayate. I'm around 2055 rating. And as you can see, I have a rating. I have a rating of. Uh, let's see. Let me check on my profile here. My rating is that 2056. That's it. Yeah. Thank you for watching. Good. Have a good one. Bye bye.